Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Project Cars on YouTube. Welcome back to all of my subscribers, and hello to all the new ones as well. Thank you very much for hitting that button. Now, the car in front of you here is the Lotus 78 Cosworth. It is one of the most iconic cars in motor racing. Mario Andretti won the 1978 Formula One World Championship in this car. So many hardcore racing fans will recognize the beautiful black and gold livery that is just known the world over for being a beautiful, beautiful monument to this era of racing. It also started the ground effect revolution in Formula One, and of course I'm going to be driving it today. And I'm going to be driving it on Donington Park GP at the recommendation of Pete Morrish, who works on the game and gave me this recommendation via Twitter. So many thanks for that, Pete. You can go ahead and follow Pete at PJDUBYAM. That's PJWM on Twitter. So many thanks for your support and watching the previous videos, and many thanks as well for giving me this great suggestion. I'm going to be doing a 5-lap race with 19 opponents, with a 5-minute qualifying, and I learned quite a few things in my couple of practice laps with this car. So let's get out into qualifying and I'll explain some of those to you now, but let's do that while I'm on the track. This car is a beautiful beast. I'm going to go ahead and drive. Coming out of the pits now, and we're going to hear the engine. Ooh. We're going to hear the engine purr. Now, there are so many different modes, by the way, for looking at what kind of view you prefer in Project Cars. For me, because the simulation aspect of the game, in my opinion, is so well designed, I prefer as real as possible, so I'm liking this helmet view. Now, as you just saw with that last slide, I'm going to see if I can reproduce it around this corner. You ready? Here we go. Oh, there. I kind of held the car at a sort of 2 o'clock in... I was about to say 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I realize it doesn't actually make a difference whether it's AM or PM, but a 2 o'clock kind of position on my steering wheel for the entirety of that turn. And the reason I could do that is because this car almost takes oversteer into an art form. It's really unlike anything else I've experienced on an open wheel racer simulator. And the reason for that is, in most cars, I want to say when you're about to oversteer, that's fine, but it's really... Oh, no, that's a fair pass. It's really violent, and you kind of have to snap back at the wheel, if you know what I mean. Well, with this car, it's not like that. So you'll oversteer, and you'll feel like it, and you can feel it when, for example, your steering wheel is at the 2 o'clock position. But you will be oversteer constantly in this 2 o'clock position. And you don't have to snap the wheel all the way to the left to deal with it. All you do is you snap your wheel to the 10 o'clock position and you just slowly massage the car through the corner. It means you're effectively almost drifting the car. And it's actually really beautiful to feel and really beautiful to drive. It feels like I'm plowing a go-kart through the corners is the best way to describe it. Because you know how in a go-kart you can kind of hold the car at a 30 to maybe even 45 degree angle if you want to be super extreme about it, and you just hold that slide all the way through the corner. That's what this feels like, except at speeds that are frankly ridiculous. So obviously that means I can find some quicker lines through corners as well, because if I brake and I catch my turn-in point really crisply, I can just continuously accelerate out of a corner, basically while oversteering by a 10 to 15 degree angle on the road, and know that I'm carrying more speed around the corner than I normally would, which is really cool because I'm basically go-karting this thing around the track. And you don't normally expect to say that about a Formula One car, but hey, here we are. Oh yeah, that's a hairpin, I forgot about that. You can see I don't race on Donington every day, ladies and gents. When I do my UK tracks, I've played Castle Combe once or twice throughout the years, but I do prefer my Silverstone, and if I can be honest, I actually prefer old layout Silverstone to new. So Donington is a track I'm a little bit slower at historically, but we're going to go ahead and see if I can't put at least some of that to rest today. Come on, come on, come on. Did he just tap me? Wow! Well, I looked to the right and he was kind of there, and that happened. So I have a minute and 32 left to try and get around to the start-finish line because that lap was invalidated. I'm going to try and do that so I can start one more flying lap with about 5 seconds left to go of the session. So pardonnez-moi while I give that a go. That could have ended very badly. Oh, and there's the slide we were talking about, holding it all the way through the corner. Actually getting a bit too close to the apex there as well. Needing to hold less of that. And coming up to the chicane. Wonderfully smooth chicane this. When you get the line right, not quite then, you can really accelerate very cleanly and crisply in a straight line off the end of it. And it feels very satisfying when you absolutely nail it. Right. Oh, 20 seconds left. It turns out I had plenty of time, and let's go for a flying lap. Don't you dare block me, dude, in front. Don't you even dare think about it. Come on, let's get some sort of representative time in. Whoa! That's a good way to throw it all away. No! Off track top and what? I'm gonna race the rest of the lap anyway because I think I'm gonna need the practice for the race. And that's a good example of the drift, just getting away from me a little bit, almost like it did there. And as soon as you misjudge the amount of oversteer you get. So that was an example of it going really well, actually. So an example of the oversteer in this car and the way you have to correct it going terribly, followed immediately by an example of it going really well. You can tell I haven't quite mastered it yet, but you can probably also tell I think it's really fun, and that is how you nail the chicane. Oh, that felt satisfying. Come on. Hairpin 1. I haven't figured out my optimum line through the hairpins yet, and how much I want to risk just oversteering the hell out of the car on the way out of the corner. I haven't worked that out yet. Oh, I just turned in too early there. I can work that much out. Anyway, somehow I'm still in P2. Don't really know how that happened, but I'm willing to roll with it. Nearly had the pole, but not quite. I will take that. I will definitely take that. Here comes the race. Alright, I'm on the front row. Damn, that car looks good. I can definitely take this car off the start. Here we go. Oh, boggy, 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 P1, P1. Giving somebody room in case they show up there. Oh god, he's there. Yep, that counts as giving him room. Come on. Don't fluff up the first couple of corners, please. I'm taking this really easy at the moment. I'm not trying to push the limits. Because the last thing I want to do is make a small mistake and drop from P2 to P10. There is time to attack. This is a 5-lap race. The AI is harder than what I set it for last time, by the way, when I did a video. So it's not going to be smooth sailing for me, but I will give it a darned good go. I'm trying my best to make this harder every time I play. Need to give him room. Have I got him? Maybe. Maybe. No, there he is. This is going to be a long afternoon. And this guy does not want to give in. Can I? No, not really. Couldn't really get alongside him. We're on lap 2 now. Where's the guy in P3? Oh god, he's right there. Oops, slightly off the track. And P3's all over me, and that's what I mean. That's exactly what I meant. all of a sudden, I'm thinking about the defense. Oh, don't slide too much into the grass. It's that oversteer I was talking about earlier. Coming back to bite me if I'm not careful. Let's nail that hairpin. Chicane even. Gained a couple of tenths in front there. That was nice. They really don't like that first hairpin. The AI is desperately slow around that first hairpin. Unfortunately, they're not as desperately slow around the second. And once again, I am just behind the guy in P1. Thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. No. I'm alongside. I can't quite make it stick. There's too much oversteer for me to control if I keep my line too tight. And I can actually feel the car starting to get away from me, which is really annoying because as I see his car disappear and I think, oh, I've passed him now, that's the point where I start to feel like I'm losing control because he's putting me offline so much. P3 still hanging about behind. Oh no, 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 this is disastrous. This is disastrous. P4 is about to overtake me. I have to give him room if he goes for it. He doesn't go for it. Okay. I've lost a place. I have lost a place. That is not good. Overcooked it. And now I'm in P3 after starting in P2. It's a constant battle to keep control of this car. I honestly am finding it so difficult. It's not... I would say most other open wheel cars that I've driven in simulators. Hang on. That was a terrible first quarter. I have this characteristic where they're in control, they're in control, they're in control, they're in control, and then they snap away at you. This car's not like that. This car is, you're barely in control, you're barely in control, you're barely in control, you're barely out of control. At no point does it completely go away from you, but as long as the steering wheel isn't in a straight line, at no point are you fully in control of it either. You just have to be constantly watching it 24/7, and it's absolutely mad trying to drive this thing. The amount of concentration I'm trying to put into the screen right now is unbelievable. I could just keep talking. I'd start speaking gobbledygook, which I'm probably doing already. Wouldn't even notice. Too busy desperately trying to keep control of this car. Tiny little slides everywhere that I'm trying to respond to. This is also the part where it helps if you have a great wheel and pedal set. I love my Logitech Momo Force. They don't make them anymore. They made them years and years and years ago. And I do love my red leather and aluminium Momo. It is my baby, and I'm so glad I have a reason to dust it off and play on this beautiful game. We're on lap 4 out of 5 now. I've slipped a place. Generally speaking, my driving's been reasonably mediocre, but not that poor. Oh god, don't speak too soon, John. And it's disappointing to lose a place rather than go into... No, stop! Rather than go into first. But frankly, the way this is going, I'll be reasonably happy with the result. This Lotus is such a dog, bear, pig, cat, man thing. Why are you hitting me? You're allowed to take the place from me. You're not allowed to do that by hitting me. What is this? Who gave you the go-kart license? Seriously, I said this thing drifts like a go-kart, not you should drive it like one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is AI behaving like Dick's Day, and all of a sudden, I only care about defending third. Oh my goodness, they're going to punt me off the track, and this entire video is going to look really silly. I need to get away from them. I do not want to chop down to 15th place because Charlie Bananas over there in 4th has decided that he wants to go. Someone's taken too many testosterone pills this morning, and I am not happy about it, but it looks like I've held on to the place. Whew! What was all that about? Ica Kingspawn. Oh. And that, ladies and gents, was the Lotus 78 Cosworth. It's a really unique car to drive. It's the kind of car that I would say you can feel like that in some GT or saloon cars, but you don't always feel like that in an open wheel racer, is the best way I can describe it. You compare that to a Formula A or B in project cars, it just feels completely different. The way you can sort of hang the drift mid-corner feels very, very strange. It's more like a go-kart than a Formula 1 car. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. Giving it the Lotus 78 Cosworth a test drive around Donington. Thank you very much for hitting subscribe at the bottom of this video. Double thank you and much love to you if you can go ahead and give the video a like as well. If you have liked it, of course, go ahead and share. I'm Jarrus. I'll be back with some more Project Cars stuff very soon right on this channel. I'll see you then.